Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Twilight Zone episode Judgment Night, one of the several Twilight Zone episodes that take place on a boat, a ship, which looks like it takes place during the early 40s, basically during World War II. And it's an interesting story because it peels back like layers on an onion, kind of what's going on. And the main character, we see him at the beginning of the story, and he's a bit unnerved. You kind of wonder if maybe he has a phobia of water or phobia of being on a ship or something. He's a little agitated, so to speak. You can tell he's not at home there. I'm not familiar with most of the actors in this. Now, there is a smaller role played by one of the ship's officers, which has Patrick Macnee in it. And I'm a huge Patrick Macnee fan, even though I've never really seen much of the Avengers. I do like Patrick Macnee from other stuff. Great in Battlestar Galactica. And he's also in a really good movie I like from the 80s called Waxworks. Well, technically, he's also in its sequel, but the sequel's a little more comedic in tone, whereas the first Waxworks movie is really good. It also, the main male actor in it's played by the guy who plays Billy in the Gremlins movies. But Patrick Macnee has a really good part as one of the good guys in it. It's a good horror movie. Check it out. But he has a small part as a ship's soldier in that, which I had forgotten going into this because I've seen this episode before. More than once, actually. I really like this one. I was about to say it took me a second to realize which one it was, but actually as soon as the episode started, I didn't recognize it from the title, but as soon as I started watching it and I saw the guy standing there, I'm like, I know this one. But I had forgotten it had Patrick Macnee in it, so that was a nice surprise for me. But it's interesting watching him kind of meet people on the ship and interact with them and talk with them. There's a female military officer, male military officer, the ship's captain, other sorts of people. And you start to realize the guy doesn't quite know how he got on the ship. You realize as he's talking, he's like, I don't know how I got here. And then he has these little lapses where he knows things that's odd for him to know. Because again, this is taking place during World War II. Like when they're all eating dinner at the captain's table, the captain mentions, it's dangerous because there are, World War II submarines out there. And it's so foggy outside, they think they might have lost the convoy that they were traveling with. Like, the guy's like, do you think the convoy is right next to us? And the captain's like, they'd have to be 3 feet off the side of us. They'd have to be no more than 3 feet for us to even be able to see them. So they don't know if they're with their convoy or not. And they start talking about the dangers of a submarine shooting a missile. And the main character's like, they won't shoot a missile, if we're just moving at this, if we're just moving like this, they'll surface and slam us with the deck guns. And everybody's kind of surprised he knows a lot about the movement, that kind of stuff. And a couple other things happen. He finds it's a German officer's hat, in which the guy who finds is like, oh, this must be a souvenir you got from the war. And the guy's kind of surprised to see it, but when he turns it over, it's his name and the cap, which freaks him out because he doesn't know why. And he gets increasingly more paranoid that something is going to happen to the boat. You see him sweating. He looks at the clock at one point, and it's like 5 minutes after midnight, but for some reason he's like 1:15. Something's going to happen at 1:15. And the captain is really pushing the engines because he also realizes the danger and he wants to keep moving. But the double edge to that is pushing the engines, risk damaging the engines. And even the main characters, like, the engines don't sound right. They're going to seize up. They don't sound right. And sure enough, that's what happens. The engines mess up. So the ship is kind of drifting while they're trying to fix the engines. And the main character's getting increasingly more paranoid about it. He's like, 1:15, everything's going to go wrong at 1:15. Which, of course, at 1:15, events do happen. And the ship does get attacked by a submarine at 1:15, as he predicted. Now, there's a neat little, twist at the end, which is definitely spoilers. So if you've never seen this episode and you're thinking about watching this episode, which I highly recommend, I definitely highly recommend that you turn off the video, go watch the episode. It's called Judgment Night, and then come back. The interesting thing at the end is you can see the submarine has indeed surfaced and is shelling them instead of wasting their torpedoes. And you see the captain of the ship going, fire, fire. And of course you see the ship getting hit and exploding. There's one really graphic scene actually with the female military officer. She's stuck in her room and can't get out. Her room is on fire. You see fire behind her and she's trying to get out through the little porthole and she can't get out. And then fire creeps up in front of her, and it's, you know, basically you get the impression she burned to death. And it's a pretty graphic shot. It cuts to her 2 or 3 times during the scene of events going on and the chaos of what's happening. It's pretty graphic for, you know, a TV show in 1959. Really impressively done though. Great camera work. And of course you see people panicking and getting knocked over and getting knocked to the ground. Our main character ends up in the water. You know, he gets hit by one and ends up in the water, kind of floundering in the water. And then it cuts back to the military sub, and the captain of the ship is our main character. It's him. And he's like, you know, hey, we did a good job. They sunk the ship. You see the ship sink. And the captain, who's also our main character, basically, you know, all right, we did it. We took care of that. Let's go down. And then as he's in, you know, his quarters, one of the crew members comes up and they have this conversation where, like, you know, we just killed all these innocent people. And the captain's just like, yeah, we did. Why are you so upset about it? And then the other guy is like, I think we're cursed now. I think we're damned. I think we sail these waters for eternity doing this over and over again, which is basically what it is. It's basically our main character was the captain of the ship that killed all these innocent people. And they're cursed. They're doomed to relive that moment. And you get that it's not just the captain. It probably is the whole crew of the submarine, each reliving that night over and over, their version of hell throughout eternity, their punishment, their curse. And maybe that was something that maybe they lived long lives, and when they died, they went to hell for what they did, and that's their version of hell, is just repeating this night over and over, not knowing that they were the ones who sunk it until right there at the end. It's a really good little twist ending, which I really, really enjoyed. Most of the Twilight Zone episodes that take place on a boat, there are several I tend to enjoy. And this one's definitely a good one. So check it out. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support me on that. There's a link to that down there. Nice little extras. I do have some reviews for the original Twilight Zone that are Patreon exclusives. They're available at the $5 tier and up, which is my second lowest tier level. My lowest one's basically just, hey, I like your channel, you know, here's a couple bucks a month. But I have a $5 one where you really start getting access to stuff. And these reviews of Twilight Zone episodes are available at that. The ones that go on YouTube are released there as early access releases. And then there are going to be exclusive Twilight Zone reviews, excuse me, there as well, if you like the series. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Sam Venning, Unknown289, and Finn Perkins. I do appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I have a P.O. box if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. I do have a birthday coming up soon, if anybody wants to send anything for that. It's coming up at the beginning of July. I also have a link to my Amazon wish list and a link to my Amazon UK wish list there as well. All sorts of little goodies on there. Most importantly, thank you for watching.